That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Final Cut, the 8th film directed by Michel Hazanavicius, which opened the 2022 Cannes Film Festival. It is being released in the US theatrically on July 14th, 2023, courtesy of Kino Lorber.
Do I know Michel's other films?
Michel, he was probably initially best known for his James Bond spoofs, the OSS 117 film starring Jean Dujardin, which I think you have to be in the mood to watch, and it's a mood I'm never quite in. You do know his film The Artist, which won Best Picture in 2011 and won Dujardin Best Actor Oscar, and of course starred his wife Bérénice Bejo, who is in this film. He also directed a film called The Lost Prince in 2020, which I haven't seen, and a really, I think, terrible remake of the Fred Zinnemann film The Search, which originally was a 1948 film starring Montgomery Clift that was remade with Bérénice Bejo in 2014.
I thought this was an interesting film.
Notably, it's a remake of a 2017 Japanese film called One Cut of the Dead, which I've also seen, and actually I think suffers from some of the same problems I think this one does.
The story: things go badly for a small film crew shooting a low-budget zombie movie when they are attacked by real zombies. So that description's a little deceptive, because what makes this story interesting is that this film is about a director who's been tasked with remaking a Japanese film that is going to launch on a new platform, and it's like a live one-take situation. Mm-hmm. And the film he's shooting is about a film crew attacked by zombies. So the opening of the film is the short film. So the first 34 minutes we're watching the final product. And then the next hour, 10 minutes, is the making of the thing we just watched. So I thought the making of and the process of shooting it were quite funny. Like, very well done. But the final result that opens the film, the short film we watched in the first 34 minutes, is not good.
Yeah, it's pretty painful, and I really think it's unnecessary. We don't even need to see that.
I agree. And to the point, if I didn't have to watch it to review it, I would have absolutely turned it off within the first 10 minutes.
And I feel like I was initially harsh on this when I saw it at Cannes, because I had to sit through the opening night ceremony of the Cannes Film Festival and listen to Virginia Fira sing for some reason. And then an hour and a half after that ends, I was treated to this film. So I was tired and cranky by the time I saw it. So I will say, I already knew what to expect, and I did feel a little more kindly towards it this time, but I still think that it suffers greatly by this open 34 minutes, and then that kind of exacerbates. It's doing something well enough, and because it's not, I don't know.
I think to the point that I would recommend people watch it and skip the first 34 minutes and just watch the making of, because we get like little chapters where it's like 4 weeks before filming, 3 weeks, 1 day, 60 minutes, and then we watch the actual 30-minute short being filmed. Mm-hmm. And that part's really funny because everything that could go wrong goes wrong. So I feel like maybe if a person skipped the beginning, watch the rest, and then if they enjoyed that, then it might be fun to revisit the finished product.
Sure.
So I think it was a choice.
It was, because the first 34 minutes is making you think, is this going to be like a Scream 3 or,
right,
or The Editor, that giallo film where a film is being made and then people are actually being attacked on set. But then that completely goes away.
Let me go through my notes. So the gentleman who plays the director,
Romain Duris.
I liked him.
Yeah, he's quite notable in France. His wife, I think, is the lead star of that movie Them, the French horror film from 2000, Olivia Bonamy. He, in the mid-2000s, was in quite a few things I liked. Christopher Honoré's Dans Paris is, I think, must-see. He's in a Fin Ozon film called The New Girlfriend.
So the one thing that does work with the short and then watching it being filmed is that there are moments when you watch the short first, you think, oh, because at one point the director says, oh, now that you've been attacked by real zombies, you can give me the passion I need. But then we find out during the actual filming of that short that, like, one of the zombies had, like, diarrhea, so he was, like, really uncomfortable. And then another one of the zombies was drunk and, like, actually vomit on one of vomited on one of the actors. So I think that context, those are the moments when it made sense, like comparing what actually happened.
Sure, but you also don't. You don't need to see the final product to still get it, because as it's unfolding, you completely understand. And those are also tropes of things like that's Grégory Gadebois, who is an alcoholic who's trying to be sober, but somebody brought alcohol to set and he can't help himself. That's very much like Denholm Elliott in Peter Bogdanovich's Noises Off, or Jim Broadbent in Bullets Over Broadway.
Sure. I do think it's funny though, because the director in real life and in the short gets really mad. And I think he did a really good job being this actor playing the director who's actually the director.
Yes, because we get the sense that he really doesn't like the new hot lead played by Finnegan Oldfield, who his daughter calls the new French Adam Driver. But he's just...
That was a funny line. Yeah. No, she goes, he's the next...
Oh, yes.
French Adam Driver.
Like
to imply there's already been another.
Right.
I did... Oh, so I like the score.
Oh, yeah. That is Alexandre Desplat, who, again, I demeaned for his score on Asteroid City. He works quite often with Wes Anderson. He's done a lot of great scores, but this was a lot of fun.
I also liked that it seemed like the actors were having fun in the making of the film. Mm-hmm. So I felt connected to that. So the person who has commissioned the remake, so the person who's like fronting like the money behind this project, is this little Asian lady.
She's a little Japanese lady. Mm-hmm.
Who I thought looked like the Saw puppet.
Oh my God.
She has an extreme look.
She is very unique, and you will not be able to take your eyes off of her.
No, I mean, she is, you'd be smart to cast her, because she's like the perfect accent to this movie.
Yeah, I thought she was a lot of fun.
Yeah. There's a moment when we see that one of the actors, there's supposed to be a child actor in the film, was being asked to use artificial tears, but the mom of the child said, no, we don't use those, which I thought was funny because we just reviewed Theater Camp, and it's the opposite in Theater Camp, where a kid gets caught using artificial tears and they totally ream the kid. So I thought that was fun.
So Romain Duris' daughter is wants to be a director as well, and that's a film school project I think she's working on that she gets fired from.
One of the assistants on set, I think, is... The humor is very dry, which I like. One of the assistants, actually the actor who ends up getting diarrhea because he has like very sensitive digestive system, she's ignoring all of his emails. And we get like 3 scenes where he's confronting her. Like, I told you I needed special water because of this. Did you read my email? No. And she's just like, no, I didn't read them. I think that is so funny.
She was very good. That's Luana Bajrami. She was born in Kosovo. She actually directed her own film that premiered at the same film festival called The Hill Where the Lionesses Roar.
Oh. So one of the stipulations that the Japanese, I guess, executive producer has for this remake, this French remake, is all of these French actors have to have Japanese names.
They're not allowed to change the script.
And they're not allowed to change the script. I thought that was funny. Oh, so there's another actor I recognize, the gentleman doing the sound, the black actor.
Oh, yeah, Jean-Pascal Zadi, who's in Smoking Makes You Cough.
That's right. I thought he was really cute.
He's probably the cutest one.
Because he's just always in the back. So we only see him really at the... Like, he's more prominently featured at the end when they're doing the actual filming. And you just see him at his table doing the sound. And he's just making little comments in the background.
Yeah.
And he's also very cute because he has he has a very distinct mouth and dentition. So
he does. I think that adds to his charm.
It really does.
I also like how the film looks. The cinematographer is Jonathan Ricabor, who has done a lot of excellent films, including recently at this Cannes Film Festival, The Pot of Faux, starring Benoit Magimel and Juliette Binoche. Like, he has a great eye, and the colors, I think, are pretty damn good.
I also like how the film looks outside of the opening.
Yes.
So what I didn't like is the opening. I don't think it makes sense. Like you said, I don't even think we needed it. Because the film is strong enough as it is without it, and I think we would get the gist of what the final product, or do we even care what the final product is?
No, we don't.
But the other thing I didn't like is the wife of the director, who is the actual wife.
Who's the actual director's wife? Yeah.
Not her as an actor, but I think that character, because she, we're told, is not allowed to like be on film. So she's an actor, but she's not allowed to be on the set.
She's retired, I think, when their daughter was born.
Because she has like anger management issues. So whenever she's on set, she causes a scene.
She commits too much.
I thought that was a little hacky.
That's a good word for it. It gets hacky. But until that is revealed about her, or until that kind of, she has to check
shows itself. Yeah.
That shows itself. I think Bernice Bejo is quite fun in this.
Yeah. But I think it was enough. I mean, it was annoying once it started happening.
Because there's all these scenes where the three of them have to improvise because there's problems going on in the background, and you start to realize that they're bringing in their facets of their own life. She's like, yeah, I practice Krav Maga. And again, if they cut out the first half hour of this film and we had spent time with these characters and fleshing them out more, I think that would have made the end even more potent. Think of something like Bowfinger.
Yeah.
You know? Because the end kind of has a nice emotional resonance with the Romain Duris' daughter, because of the mother's antics, they lose their crane shot, so the whole crew has to work together to get the final.
Well, it's important to know that the director's daughter, the one who's the aspiring director, they kind of are disconnected. Like she doesn't. It seems like there's distance between them, and we see a photograph of the two of them when they're younger, with the dad holding the daughter on his shoulders. So, like you mentioned, there's a crane shot that punctuates the end of the short film, but they don't have access to the crane. So the entire cast and crew have to make a human pyramid, and the director climbs on top, and he's holding his daughter on his shoulders to take the final shot. And I did also think that was really a nice end to the movie.
And I think there could have been a lot more moments like that if we had spent time with these people instead of, again,
I would recommend this movie. Just start it at the 34-minute part, and then if you like it, then maybe like the next day or after lunch or something, you could watch the beginning. And
I think this had no business opening a major film festival, especially after that same festival had Jim Jarmusch's The Dead Don't Die open the fest 2 years prior. But I think if it's the only thing you're watching for the day and you're in the mood to see something funny, I think it is worth a look.
What would you give this movie?
I'm being very nice, I think, with 2.5.
Oh, I would give it 3 out of 5. Even despite the opening, I do think the last hour is quite fun. Anything else?
No.
Hit the thanks button. Listen to our podcast. Bye.